Hello, FlossTube! Jenny here, back at last with episode 10. And I'm so sorry for having disappeared for several months. I did not plan that at all. Life just got completely crazy. I got really busy with my little shop, the holidays were bonkers, and then we had some unplanned shenanigans involving a feral cat that took up residence on my porch, and spoiler alert, if you stay tuned until the end, you can meet the newest addition to my cat family because now I have 4 cats instead of the 3 I had last time I talked to you. So yeah, it's been really busy. And I did try to film several times over the past few months, but I kept having bad luck with the days when I would be home with the house to myself, and a chunk of free time would of course be the days when it was like gray and stormy. And then I did actually fully film this episode twice before, and one of them, it seemed like the lighting was okay, but like clouds rolled in while I filmed, so the second half of it was really dark, so I couldn't use it. So then I tried it again, but I was trying a new location. I tried to film upstairs in my house, like right above where we are, thinking I would get better light because there's no porch like there is around here that you can't see because my blinds are closed. But the lighting was better, but the traffic noise was insane, and I found that really funny. I guess having the porch as a buffer helps with traffic noise. Who knew? So at any rate, here I am back, the 3rd attempt to film this. I'm sure this one's going to be the one. You're going to be seeing this. I know it. I'm going to will it to be. The 3rd time's always the charm, right? So yeah. Hi there, I'm future Jenny, coming to you from the midst of editing this episode and realizing that I meant to start the episode by announcing the giveaway winner, and I didn't. So I'm filming this now and we'll insert it in the proper place. So my giveaway was for one of my handmade cross-stitch project cases, and the randomly selected winner is Danny of All Arts. So congratulations to you. If you could reach out to me, I will put all my contact information below and you can choose whichever one you like best. And I just need to know from you your address where you'd like it mailed to and which case you liked, because there were 2 options. One of them was the cocktails one, which is this one. And one of them is the roosters and hens. Yeah, so just let me know which one you like. I will get that in the mail. And thank you so much to all of you who entered and who wrote nice little comments. And hopefully I'll do another giveaway soon. Okay, I'm gonna return you to the episode. Bye. Okay, on to the stitching. I thought, since it's been a few months and even though I haven't filmed, I've been stitching like crazy. In fact, leading up to Christmas, like a month and a half, almost 2 months worth of time in which I made 7 gifts handmade for Christmas. 4 of them were cross-stitched, one of those full coverage, and 1 hand-embroidered. I mean, I went crazy. I don't know what I was thinking, but I got it all done except the full coverage, and even on that I got really close. So I have a lot to go over, and I have new starts from the new year. So I thought what I would do is kind of break it into 2, and today I'm going to go over sort of a wrap-up of 2022, all the things I haven't shown you yet, because several of these projects I've never shown you because I hadn't chosen them yet as of the last time I filmed. So those will be great to show you. And then I think my next episode, what I'll do is a whip parade because I'm obsessed with watching them, and I thought it would be a fun way to kind of catch up with everything I've done since the end of the year. Let's dive into my crazy Christmas gift making, just insanity. So the first people that I made gifts for were my dad and stepmom. My stepmom is a huge Christmas fan. She really loves Santa and just the kind of Christmas magic and everything. It's her jam. So when I had seen the Prairie Schoolers Santa series, she popped into my head and I knew I would have to stitch one for her. And if I was making one for her, I wanted to make one for my dad too. So I picked 2 different charts. I think I might have shown you these before. I actually bought these a while ago, but I just didn't get started on them until I think I started these in November. I'm a hot mess, but here we go. This one is the 2016 Santa. It's the one I chose to do for my stepmom. And then for my dad, I chose the 2009 Santa. So I chose the 2016 Santa with the reindeer for my stepmom because it's so classic. The classic Santa, just with his reindeer, it's perfect for her. And then 2009 I picked because my dad is a huge Bruins fan. Like, he loves the Bruins. So I thought the hockey Santa is perfect, and I will slide in some Bruins colors and make it work. So here's what I came up with the 2016 Santa. I worked both of them on 36 count Edinburgh linen by Zweigart and Vintage Country Mocha. I used almost none of the called for colors, which is really crazy for me because I usually use most, if not all, called for. But on these, I did pull all the called for. I had them, I got the ones I was missing, and then when I had them all laid out, I just wasn't happy with it. I didn't care for the particular tone of the red and green. They just weren't what I had in my mind's eye, so I changed them. And also on this 2016 Santa, I'm gonna put back up both the chart and my finished products so you can look at them. There's a slight difference. 2016 Santa is charted as a three-legged reindeer. And I'm sure the designer was thinking, oh, well, his fourth leg is just behind Santa's leg, so you can't see it. And that makes total sense. But once I saw a three-legged reindeer, I could not unsee it. And it was driving me crazy. And so I figured, I had the whole thing done, and I just thought, I've got to add a leg. I just have to. And if it doesn't look good, I will take it out. But I feel like it's going to be okay. And I charted in a leg, and it worked. I think it worked. And I felt a lot better about it. Other changes that I made to this pattern were I removed the ho ho ho, because I don't personally care for just random words in my cross stitch. Like if your cross stitch is a picture of like lemonade with lemons and then underneath it just says lemonade, like I don't care for that personally. When it's funny when I see other people with it stitched up, I'm like, oh, how cute. But when I go to stitch it myself, I just don't like putting the words, so I left out the ho ho ho. And I also made the reindeer specifically Rudolph, and we know it's Rudolph because of his metallic red nose that I gave him. And I actually added several different metallic threads into both the Santas that I worked because I was making these as Christmas ornaments for them to hang on their tree, and I like having metallics in my Christmas ornaments because I feel like they pick up the lights really nicely. Yeah, so I got them all done up. All right, and then this is the result of my 2009 Santa, who was my hockey Santa, of course. I did get the Bruins colors in there a little bit. I put them on the hockey stick. They're the yellow and black at the end there. Other changes I made to this particular chart were just that I removed the hockey puck and that I forgot to put in the branches. They're coming out of the gift bag. That was not intentional. I think I was waffling about the hockey pucks so much, and once I decided no on those, I was like, okay, I'm done. When in fact I wasn't, but I think it's okay. I really enjoyed working these. They are a manageable size of a project, and they're really cute, and they're very affordable too. There's such a wide range of pricing on cross-stitch charts, and I've been thinking a lot about that lately. And we can talk about it on a different episode. But these are very affordable. I think they were only $5 a piece, which I think is pretty decent for just a small, manageable project like this. So I would do more of these in the future. They were great. Right, oh, and here's a picture of them fully finished. So as I mentioned, I wanted them to be Christmas ornaments. So I had some cotton in my stash that I used as a backing, and I did them like a pillow, you know, so 3 sides, leave an opening on the 4th side, turn it, stuff it, hand finish, and then put the little bows to hang them. So they turned out great. I'm very, very happy with these. So that was one gift done. Next up, for my mom, I made her a butterfly. Over the summer, we had gone out around my birthday and had this fun day where we went out for tea and went to these little shops and everything in this little town in Rhode Island that I definitely forget the name of, and if I remember, I will put it in here. It was a really fun day, but she had seen some like cute little crafted butterflies, like beads and embroidery and things. Oh, I'm so sorry. The cat shenanigans have begun. Guys! Okay, I think they're done. She'd seen this cute little butterfly. I think it was made of felt with like embroidery and beads, and she'd said, oh, I'd love something like that. Maybe you could make me something like that, or cross stitch one, or whatever. I'd love a little butterfly. So Christmas time coming around, I remembered that she'd said that, and I went hunting for a butterfly pattern because of course I had this sunset moth already in my queue and everything for it, but why would I just use something I already had, right? In reality, I don't think that the bright rainbowy colors were my mom's palette. And also I wanted something that was delicate and tiny, and I had a vision in mind of what it would be, and the sunset moth wasn't going to work for that. So I went hunting and I picked this pattern right here, which is from a shop on Etsy called Box and Fox, and I will link it below. All the details for all my projects will be below, so if I ever miss anything talking about it, just check below, and if I've missed it there too, just ask. I'm happy to answer anything. So yeah, this is by Box and Fox. They have quite a few butterflies in their shop, and they are all called butterfly, so it's a little hard to direct you to the right one. On the chart itself, the chart is labeled butterfly 209, but that's not going to help you because I tried to see if typing that in would pull up this particular butterfly, and it didn't. So there's that. So use the link below if you want this chart, I guess. So changes I made to this were very minimal. I used white instead of B5200. I don't know why I made that change. I think I felt like it looked better when I laid the floss out, I guess. And there was an orange color in the butterfly, and my mom's not an orange person. Neither am I, really. Neither of us are real kind of orange people. So I took out the orange and I put in pink. I used DMC 3328, and I'll put all this below. And this one, I worked only one strand, and that's unusual for me. I almost always use 2 strands. I know most people hit like 32 or 36 and drop to 1 strand. But I really like the coverage of 2 strands because I like my stitches to be kind of like plump and really well cover the fabric. I don't know, I'm not saying that right. You know what I mean, right? I like good coverage. But this was a 40 count, and I don't think I said the fabric yet. It is a 40 count Verdal? Not quite sure how you say that, Verdal, and it's in white. And because I was working on 40, I tried this whole 1 strand thing, and it's definitely a little easier to stitch that way because with 2 strands, I stop every now and then and sort of like unthread and rethread the needle to keep those strands side by side so they're not twisting around each other too much. And I didn't have to do that with 1 strand, obviously, but the coverage definitely was a little more sparse, like I could see a lot more of the background fabric through. And for me, I don't really love that sparseness, so I think 36 count with 2 strands is my sweet spot. I think that's what I learned from all the different things I made in 2022. So that was fun to get to the bottom of that. But anyway, here's my finished butterfly 209 by Box and Fox. I think it turned out really cute. It was really fun to stitch because I went with the 40 count. It made it quite tiny, and I was able to find this really cute frame I just got on Amazon. I will put a link to that too in case you're looking for a cute little frame. It actually came in a set of 4 frames, which ended up being perfect because my aunt had asked me for an updated picture of my husband and I, so I used one of the frames for that. And now I have 2 more frames, and I have actually chosen a project to fit one of the frames already, so it all works out. And yeah, the last picture I'll put up here is just one my mom sent me of the finished framed butterfly in its home on her end table. So that went really good, another successful gift. So the last of my crazy cross-stitching marathon up to Christmas was for my husband. Now you may remember that I had tried to make this Dimensions Star Wars poster kit. And if you have watched for a while, you've kind of heard a little bit of my saga, some of the problems I ran into with this particular kit, and that I wasn't having the most fun. There was no way I was going to get this done in time for Christmas because I just wasn't enjoying it. It felt like torture. It made me not want to cross stitch, and I think when a project makes you not want to cross stitch at all, it's not the right project. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to start something completely new because I might actually finish it if I did. So I went with this chart that I'll put in here. It is called Star Robot by Awesome Pattern Studio on Etsy, and they might have their own website too. I'll put all the information so you can make your own choices. And it's AT-ATs from Star Wars. My husband, of course, as you know if you've watched my episodes, and from the fact that I would be working a Star Wars kit for him, he's a huge Star Wars fan, and in particular he loves AT-ATs. So I went looking for a sort of snowy Hoth scene. The planet Hoth is like the kind of snowy planet in the films if you're not a huge buff. And I couldn't find one that was all like snowy and wintry, but when I found this one, I thought it was just unique and cool. I liked the colors on it, and I decided to go for it. And even though it's full coverage, it isn't humongous, so I went for it. And it's not framed yet, but here's the finished stitching. Yeah, so I am really happy with this. This thing was a blast to stitch. Before I go any further, the details on this one are, it's an 18 count Aida in white by DMC Charles Craft. It's all called for colors and it's 2 strands. So that's all the details. And okay, so why this was so much fun is just in general, the chart was fun. There were areas when I felt like doing little details, but there were also areas when I just wanted to mindlessly fill while watching Netflix. So there was kind of something for every mood. And also the chart, I was really, really impressed with this chart. I got it as a PDF and I was just blown away because normally when I get an Etsy PDF, there'll be like one color or one black and white, or if you're really lucky, one of each in the PDF. And again, I'm sorry for the camera shaking. It's just cats. Oh yes, speaking of cats, there's one right there, and there's a cat hair on my project. This is my life. It's fine. So what I was saying about the PDF. Okay, so this PDF had color symbols. It had just color squares. It had black and white symbols. It had black and white symbols on a color ground. It literally had like every option you could ever want. So whatever your preference is as far as how you like your charts to be, it was there. It was great. I loved it. And I work everything now in my charts digitally. It's really funny. I started out printing them and having a highlighter and I was like, this is it. But I've totally 180'd from that. What I do is I just pull my chart into my iPad. I have like a sort of like GoodNotes, but I use Kilo Notes. It's free. It's awesome if you're looking for something like that. I absolutely love it. And I just draw right on the PDF there and it works great. So yeah, that's it. I do have a frame for this. I know it's February, like what is my problem? But I had to gift it to him unfinished. It was at like, I think it was at like 92% or something. So I got really close. Woody has things to say about this. You want to come up, Woody? Woody's going to be in the video now. Hop, hop. There he is. Yes, and what I should have done is immediately framed it, but once I have passed a deadline, the likelihood that I will go back and actually finish something, it's not really strong. So this is my goal for this weekend, is to get this completely in its frame, so it can just be done. So yeah, that's that. And now Woody is sitting on my notes, so I'm gonna have to try to wing it. That was all my cross-stitch stuff, so if you're not into non-cross-stitch crafts, then thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. But if you'd like to stay tuned for things like hand embroidery, then do so. So for my friend Sarah, she and I have been friends for many, many years. We met because we share a love of historic costuming. So we both sew recreations of historic costume items. And I think it was probably about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to make this particular sewing bag for her. I'm going to put up a picture. It's from 1816 from the Philadelphia Museum of Art. And I just really like this. I think it's so cute and charming with its little strawberries. And I really wanted to try to recreate it. And I've actually talked about this project in past episodes, but I haven't shown the picture or said anything because I didn't think Sarah watched, but there's always a chance because I know she does see my Instagram and stuff, and I didn't want to spoil the surprise for her. But now I can tell you all about it. So this is the project that, if you've watched for a while, I was alluding to and saying, oh, I really want to get back to hand embroidery. I've got to do a practice project because I've got this big project I want to do. This was the one. So at any rate, I did it, and I'll put up one or more pictures here. I took a whole bunch of pictures, haven't really reviewed them yet. It was sort of like a rush around to get it in the mail in time. I'm so happy with how this turned out. The last time I tried to work on it, I was really struggling with getting my satin stitching to look nice. But this time around, it was kind of like I wanted it done for this Christmas. I was determined, and I decided I need to just stop being so perfect. Stop trying for perfection and just do it the best I can and not worry about it and enjoy it. And so many times in all of my crafting, I have found that is the key. It's the key to having a good result. And I really think it's just something about your mindset and not being like stressed when you go to work, but rather just relaxing because you've just accepted it. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So once I did that, just going for it, it all started to work out. I did pull out 1.5 strawberries that I had worked like a year ago. Because I wasn't happy with it, and then just started moving forward and it all worked. And so what you're seeing here is silk taffeta is my fabric, and the floss I used, so the original would have been in silk, but I am on kind of a budget, so I ended up using DMC's, it's their rayon floss, satin, they call it satin, DMC satin, and a whole bunch of colors. I can put them below if you're really interested. And yeah, I just sort of drew the pattern myself, just drew it onto the silk, went for it, trying to think what else I can say about it. That's pretty much it. Oh, and I patterned it myself, and I did it all by hand, because in 1816 it would have been by hand, not machine. So I hand sewed it, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I kind of want to make one for me, but I might do a different, something other than strawberries, and then we'll kind of have matching yet not matching sewing bags for the next time we meet up. So yeah, that was great. So that's gift number 5. The last 2 gifts that I made for Christmas, I'll just put quick pictures in. They're just 2 more of my cross-stitch vinyl front zip cases. And I made these for my 2 stitching buddies, my 2 in real life stitching buddies. One of them loves Alice in Wonderland, so I did that theme for her. They are from Tula Pink's Curiouser and Curiouser line. And the other one, she is actually really into like, I think it's like the Marvel heroes and X-Men and things like that, but I couldn't find fabrics I like, so I did just a cat theme for her, because she's also, she's got 2 cats and she's really into her cats, so that's the theme I went with that. So that was my crazy, really crazy lead up to Christmas gift making extravaganza. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. It was actually kind of fun. It was like one very, very long episode of Project Runway for me, except instead of fashion, it was gifts. And just for fun, my total for 2022 is 5 completely stitched from start to finish and FFO'd cross-stitch items, 2 that I finished but didn't FFO, and 5 that I started that are whips now. So that's pretty decent for my first year back into cross-stitching as an adult, because I only started back in April. So yeah, pretty cool. So that is all my stitching content. If you want to stick around for the cat portion of this episode, it starts now. So we have a 4th cat. This is Salem. He is a cat that was born somewhere out in the wild, and very sadly his mother was hit by a car, and he's lost some of his other family too. I'm not going to get into making this episode a downer. We'll focus on the positive, right? After his mom passed, I really believe that Salem felt like he just needed to find a home. I think he was lonely and looking for someone to love him. That's what I really feel, looking back on how everything went down. He just started showing up. I mean, every so often I will see a stray cat. They're usually off in the distance. Once in a while they'll come into my yard, but not with consistency. Salem was there every single day. I would get up in the morning, I would look outside, he'd be on the back porch, and then throughout the day he'd be all around the house. He just sort of, I think he kind of picked us. And he would do things like, one day he jumped up on the side railing and peered in the window, and he and Woody were like face to face, and he and Woody would have conversations through the window. Sometimes my husband would be working from home, see him and like talk out the window, and he'd come like walking over and looking up like all curious. And I thought that kind of behavior in an outdoor cat made me really hopeful that he could become a house cat. So on October 31st, coincidentally, that's the day it happened to work out, we trapped him and brought him in, and we had to keep him separate from our cats. I think it was for almost 2 months actually, because he had several different parasites. All outdoor cats will have some sort of parasite. It's just kind of like it is what it is, right? And we had to go through a couple different courses of the treatment to totally get rid of it all, but at last it worked out, and I was able to mix the cats, and it exceeded my expectations. My expectations were really low though, to be fair. Woody is a very jealous cat. If Woody's sitting here and another cat is here and I pet the other cat and don't immediately like give Woody all the attention, Woody will get up, go over and smack the other cat, because he's just like jealous and mad, and that's his little personality. But on the whole, he's like a really nice, sweet cat. He's so loving. He just has this jealousy issue. So I thought, there's no way he's gonna let another cat in. He did. And I mean, every so often they will have like a little tussle, and they do play together. So there is like, you know, chasing each other and that and then run and hide. But I really, from observing it, I really do believe it's play. It's not like one jumping on top of the other, sinking teeth in. It's not that kind of thing. I think it's very playful. So it's gone really well. I have 4 cats now. It's crazy. 3 was already stressing me out with more cats than I had hands, but I love each and every one of my cats. I am head over heels in love with Salem now. He's fully a member of the family. So yeah, that's my crazy cat shenanigans. It was a long, emotional, difficult road. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to take in a feral cat like this or a fostered cat. I get very emotional about this sort of thing anyway, so those first few weeks, I don't recommend this to the faint of heart. I cried a lot. I was really stressed out, not knowing if I did the right thing, but it all worked out. That is all I have for you for this episode. I want to thank you so much for watching. I will be back hopefully next week with a whip parade. And in the meantime, I will say goodbye and then just pop a little video in here for you to meet Salem in video form. Bye. Say hi, Salem. Say hi to my FlossTube friends. Yeah? Yeah, hi baby. Curious. Cutie. You're a cutie.